In this video, I'm sharing the 5 steps I use to overcome my social anxiety so that you can walk into any social and business situation with confidence. Hi friends, if you're new here, my name is Ziying, a former banker turned etiquette and peak performance coach. When I first started working in banking, I was absolutely terrified of social situations. Team dinners, office drinks, networking events, my stomach would literally drop every time I get an invite. I'd be standing in the corner sticking with people I already know or pretending to be checking on my phone, counting down to the minutes until I had to leave. But over the years, I've completely transformed. I now genuinely love social situations. I attend formal situations regularly, I host workshops, I speak on stages, and I help other people do exactly the same thing. And today, I'm sharing the exact 5 steps that I use to overcome my social anxiety and you can start using today. And think about it, if I can do this in a second language, in a foreign country, you can absolutely do it too. Let's dive in. Step 1 is to shift your mindset. You really need to change the way you think about it. When I was standing at those events, absolutely paralyzed with anxiety, do you know what was actually going through my brain? I was telling myself stories. Everyone here is judging me. I don't know what to say. They're all more successful, confident, and interesting than me. I'm going to embarrass myself. And here's the thing, these stories actually felt real, but they were not actually true. And here are some of the mindset shifts I had to make, and you need to make it too. The first reframe is that they are humans too. Remember that. Even the person who looks the most confident, they also had awkward moments. They've said the wrong things before. They're probably standing there before an event feeling uncomfortable in the past. So you're not actually unique, you're also human. And when you remember that the other person you're talking to is also human, they're also probably worried about what they say and worried about if they will fit in. It just takes so much pressure off. The second reframe is that what's actually at stake here? Ask yourself that question. When I was avoiding those social and business situations, I was kind of protecting myself from that temporary discomfort in that situation. But what was I losing? It's so much bigger. I was losing career opportunities, better clients, better job promotions. I was losing meaningful relationships. I was losing confidence. I was probably losing a lot more life experiences as well. So the cost of actually staying in my comfort zone was way higher than the cost of a few awkward moments. So when I realized that, everything changed, because all of a sudden I realized that the discomfort was actually worth it. And the third thing is that this is actually a skill you can learn. It's not something that you're either born with or you're not. Just like you learn how to ride a bike, speak English, or do your job, this is something you can totally learn and improve. Step 2 is to learn conversation skills. Here's the thing, good conversation is not about being the most interesting person in the room. It's about being interested. Let me explain. According to psychology, people love talking about themselves. There's a famous quote, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And what's the fastest way to make someone feel good? Show some genuine interest in them. Studies have found that when people talk about themselves, the same part of their brain light up as if they're eating good food or receiving money. It literally feels so good to them. So your job in a conversation is actually not that difficult. It's to make them feel heard, seen, valued, and understood. So how do you do that? First, ask them open-ended questions. Rather than asking, do you like your job? You ask, what do you love the most about what you do? And rather than asking, did you have a good weekend? You ask, what was the highlight of your weekend? And if you want to build some deeper connections with someone, you can ask questions like, if money was no object, what would you do? What's your favorite way to spend a whole day off? And also remember to practice your listening skills. Understand what active listening is and ask follow-up questions and show some real genuine interest. And that's when your anxiety will melt away because you're actually not focused on yourself, you're focusing on them. And step 3, please do not underestimate this. Dress well. I know you're probably thinking, what does what I'm wearing have to do with social anxiety? Everything. Here's why. When you're dressed well, I mean really well fitted, polished, and appropriate for the occasion, something shifts in you. You will stand a little taller, you feel a little bit more put together, you're no longer feeling self-conscious, and you will feel so good. Because what you wear affects how you think and feel. When you dress like someone confident, you start to feel confident. And how do you dress well for social occasions? Here's my rule. Dress the way you want to be addressed. So if you want to be taken seriously, dress polished and professional. If you want to seem approachable and warm, dress elegantly but not intimidating. And always make sure that your clothes fit well and are clean and pressed. One of the best things that you can do is to make sure that you steam everything that you wear. I mean everything. And one thing I can't live without is a handheld steamer, which I would use every day on everything I'm wearing. I'll add the link in the description box below, because when you feel good in what you're wearing, you will show up differently. Just trust me on this one. And step 4, become more interesting. Now, I know I just said that conversation isn't about being the most interesting person in the room, it's about being interested. And that's totally true. But here's the thing, you also need something to contribute to the conversation. Now I want to tell you a little story about a colleague that I had when I was in banking. I remember this lady who's a few years older than me, and she could literally have conversation with anyone about anything. She'll be talking to the bosses about art, intern about travel, and clients about current affairs. And then I was wondering, how does she manage to do that? So one day I asked her, and she said something I'll never forget. She said, I'm not naturally gifted at conversation. I'm just genuinely interested in the world. So I read a lot, I travel a lot, I watch documentaries, and I have a lot of experiences in life so that I naturally have a lot to talk about with people. She was just genuinely interesting because she filled her mind with interesting things. And how can you be that? Think about it. If a conversation is about exchanging ideas, stories, and perspectives, then the more you know, the more overlap you'll have with the other person naturally. And if all you do is just work and watch Netflix, you probably have very little to talk about with people. So here are things to do. One of the fastest ways for you to become more interesting is actually to read books. And I'm going to list some of my favorite books to help you become a more interesting person in the description box below, so make sure you check out. And also you want to listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, travel, and try new things like cooking class, art gallery, theatre. Then you'll have so much more to draw from in conversations. And here's the bonus. When you're genuinely curious about the world, people will feel that energy, and then you will become magnetic. And finally, step 5 is to practice. I know when you clicked into this video, you probably want a little magic bullet, a trick that would make your social anxiety disappear overnight. But here's the truth. The only way to get better at social situations is actually to put yourself in them. And here's the thing. I don't want you to just walk away with knowledge of how to overcome social anxiety. I also want to make sure that you're genuinely going to practice what we learned here so that it becomes yours. So start very small. You don't have to go to a huge networking event tomorrow. You can strike up a conversation with a barista or chat with a colleague you don't normally speak to, or attend a small gathering like a book class or fitness class, because every tiny interaction would build confidence for you. And even if it goes badly, because sometimes it will, reframe it as a practice, not as a failure. If there was silence, then you will learn how to recover from it. And if there's conversation that fizzled, you will learn what questions don't work, because every single interaction is data. Make sure you use it, learn from it, and get better at it. And there you have it, 5 steps to overcome your social anxiety so that you can show up at any social situation with confidence. If you found this video helpful, I have another video that would go deeper on conversation skills. It's about mastering small talk so that you will never run out of things to say. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.